Yeah, I got on my robe. I'm gonna say that before we even get started. Yes, because I am inviting y'all on my journey as like I told y'all. So I'm getting up in the morning and doing my normal routine, which is drinking my coffee, getting into this. So before we start anything, I want to say first giving out of the guy who is the head of my life. And if you came through here once, I hope you come through twice. Straight up. And before we get started, y'all, today being like just a weird morning, and not even in the bad sense of things. And I'm gonna tell you now, since this is only video number two, I'm gonna let you all know now. I do what I want over here. So that means if I'm gonna do a little rambling, I'm gonna ramble. If I feel like a story time, we gonna get a story time. Um, yeah, but we always gonna make sure we touch on our readings for today because that's really the purpose of all of this. Like I really feel like I don't know, like our society is like screwed up, and I think a lot of people got a bad misconception like about religion and what religion should be. And in my opinion, religion should always, it's up for interpretation. And so many of us who had the privilege, and I say privilege, of even growing up in church, we were taught like certain things in certain ways, and it they never teach you that it's up for interpretation. I think you got to get older and you got to start exploring and seeing other religions. And I think it's all about knowing God for yourself. So for me, I feel like for those of us who probably have never picked up a Bible, or those of us who grew up in church but was only taught like what they wanted us or how they wanted us to receive it, I think that's not good. So the purpose of me doing this is while I take my journey and do my reading, I just want to share that with other people, and hopefully we can it can open up conversations and stuff. Cause like society a trip. Like this morning, y'all, look at this. This overcooked my grits this morning. Look. Now I ain't gonna y'all go listen to it. But that's Lil Durk Daddy. And it just annoyed me, y'all. I ain't even gonna play what he y'all can go find it on YouTube. But the man was like, oh, it's basically now that his son has decided to serve Allah and get his life together, he feels that now all of this is happening. And it's like I don't believe in no religion. Now I don't know a lot about Islam, so I never want to disrespect their religion or anything like that. Which I can ask questions if I want. My cousin, I got cousins that are Islam. One in particular that is serious about his religion, so I could ask him, and I probably will. But from my experience, and I went to Catholic school from kindergarten to eighth grade. I went to a Catholic school, but I grew up in a Baptist church. But it allowed us to see what the Baptist church looks at as Christianity and what the Catholic Church looks at as Christianity. And we also had dealings with people that were Jehovah Witnesses. So those three religions I can say I'm informed about. And I feel like in no religion do you not reap what you sow. So it's like for Dirk Daddy to, oh, it's now that he getting his life together and he this, man, your son built his built his empire on the backs of deceased people, on the backs of other people's demise. Now if he truly is a spiritual person like you're trying to say he is now, then why isn't his spirituality having him say, well, I have to suffer my consequences? Why? That's why I be feeling like so many people in their religion is just it is the way that they go about it is fake. They twist it and they turn it to make it mean whatever they need it to mean. So we on this channel, We're gonna get clarity. We're gonna talk, we're gonna discuss. We're going to walk through this journey of 100 days of the Bible so that we can read it from beginning to end, and we can have our own discussions, and we can be informed versus sitting and allowing people to tell us what they think the Bible means, if that makes any sense. So we're gonna get going on this. This is day 2. And another thing I'm gonna let y'all know now. It's gonna be a bit of a learning curve, because it's gonna, I don't know. Some days I just feel like I gotta figure out the camera angles I like. I have to figure out how I want to present the content, but because it's my natural journey and how I'm going about it, you're just going to get it how I get it. Hence why it's the morning time and I'm still drinking my coffee, because there are morning readings and there are evening readings. I'm going to read them straight through. But I was thinking I'm gonna see how it goes. I guess if we build momentum and we build a culture on this channel, then I'll split it. Then I'll start to go live and do my morning readings, and then go live and do the evening readings. But until then, this is how I'm going to share my journey with you all. So for day 2's reading, which I think I showed y'all in the first video, but I will show you all again. It tells us what we should be reading on each day. So I'm not just picking out anything. It's a system to how they want it done. So for January 2nd, we are reading in the morning, which is now, Matthew chapter 2. And then for the evening reading is Genesis 4, 5, 6. We're going to do it all right now. Matthew, again, is the first book of the New Testament. Another thing about something about the Bible that I've always been taught since I was a child. In the New Testament, you'll see writing that is in red. Now we were taught that those are like the God's words, basically. So imagine quotation marks around it. Whoever is writing the book of Matthew, which is probably Matthew, I don't know. But whoever's writing the book of Matthew is saying that the stuff that is in red was the actual word of God. I don't know. We can dispute it. I'm not even going to. I don't even want to look. That's what I've been taught. But like I said, we're here to learn on our own. So we're going to start with Matthew chapter 2. Um, so it's titled The Maggie's Visit. And I like this Bible because it really just breaks down what's going on in each area. Like when we did one, it'll tell you the genealogy of Christ. So you kind of, it allows you to be able to reference back a lot easier. Like the second one was the birth of Christ, if you can see that. So now we're on the Maggie's Visit, which is chapter 2. Okay. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judah in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. So those of us who grew up in church, I know you probably heard the story about the wise men and how they came to see Jesus when Jesus was born. So this is probably what we're walking through right now. Saying, where is he? So when they got over to Jerusalem, they're saying, where is he that is born king, king of Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people of Israel. Now, basically, this king, Herod, feels threatened if the people are going to call this newborn child the king of Jews, because he feels that he's ruling everything. So Jesus is basically a threat to him. That's how he's feeling as the king. Where did I stop? By the prophet. It was okay. Then Herod, when he had privily, which is like previously, but this is how they talk in the Bible. Privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star had appeared. So now he's questioning the wise men and he's trying to figure out what time did they see that star that they followed. Basically, that's what he's doing. When the king, oh wait, okay, what time the star appeared? And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child, and when ye have found him, bring me word again, and I may come to worship him also. Now, this is kind of how the world works, and you have to watch people because the king is telling them to let him know, like, where he is and when they get to him so that he may come and worship him too. But think about it. If the king is jealous and the king is worried about his reign, there is no way he has good intentions for going over here to see Jesus, but he's lying. That's what he's doing. Saying that he'll worship him also. Let's be real. See that's kind of like what you see in people these days. Okay. Verse 9. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. So they followed the star until it was above them, and that's when they knew that they reached where Jesus was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. So they brought gifts to Jesus, which we know we've heard. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed unto their own country another way. So in a dream, God told them not to go there and back to Herod, which is the king who's trying to manipulate them into telling them where Jesus is. Um, so basically, God is telling them then and giving them a choice. Like he's letting you know that Jesus is the Son of God and this is who we should praise. That's what they're saying. Verse 13, it's the flight to Egypt. It's the title of this section. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise, take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. So Jesus came to Joseph in a dream, basically saying, get your wife, get that baby, go to Egypt, and you stay there until I tell you to. So now he's listening to the voice of God, which I feel like a lot of us get that and we don't know what it is. It's like our subconscious. That's what we would call it. But a lot of times it's probably God telling us to do something. That's why I said for 2025, y'all, I feel like when God tell me to do something, I'm just doing it. I'm not questioning it or none of that. That's how we are where we are right now. Because I was reading on my own. I was going on my journey on my own. And I don't know. I heard that voice, and I'm gonna say it was God, and saying like this is what you should do as far as your YouTube channel goes. And I agree because I feel like everybody needs to understand that there is no there is no church way. Like the church wants you to believe that the only way to praise God is in that building. And that is something we gotta know better than. We gotta know better than. So I'm gonna hopefully reach some people and let y'all know like how this goes and that you can have a relationship with God without going in that building and listening to them people. So we're gonna go through that. Verse 14. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt. And was there until the death of Herod. So they stayed in Egypt until the king Herod was killed, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceedingly wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which had diligently inquired of the wise men. Wow. So they went into Bethlehem and took all the children 2 years and under. Hmm. Verse 17. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, in Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not. So all of those children, it sounds like they were killed by Herod. And Rachel was weeping for her children and could not be comforted because her kids were not comforted. That is sad. That is sad, and that is horrible. So we're in the last verses 19 through 23 of chapter 2, and this is the return to Nazareth. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt. So again, an angel of the Lord has come to Joseph in a dream while he's in Egypt, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life. So initially they ran to Egypt because God told them to. Now they have to leave Egypt, and God is now telling them to go into Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus, you know these biblical names, y'all. Archelaus did reign in Judea in the room of his father Herod. So this is his son. This is King Herod who's dead. And now this is his son, Archelaus. He was afraid to go. So Joseph was afraid to go there because he knew that King Herod's son was ruling there, basically. That's wild. He was afraid to go hither. Notwithstanding being warned of God in a dream, he turned aside into the parts of Galilee. So, I wonder where this is going to lead us. So, because he was afraid, because Joseph was afraid, even though in his dream, an angel sent by God told him to go into Israel, but because he was afraid of King Herod's son, Archelaus, I know I'm probably saying that wrong, but yeah. Um, he made up his own mind and he decided to go to Galilee. And it's crazy because I'm starting to remember things about this part from being a child. They even got music like if y'all pay attention to church music, they say something in one old church song about Joseph fought the battle at Galilee or something like that. Something like that. Okay, in the last verse 23 says, and he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophets. He shall be called Nazarene. So he is now in Nazareth, even though that is not where God told him to go. I know in the beginning I said I was gonna do the evening reading too, but I don't want to bore y'all. So I'll make a separate video doing the evening reading for this day. Because I don't want to I really want to make sure you get the message and that kind of thing. And in doing so, I don't want to flood nobody was just like too much um of trying to process something. So I thank y'all for tuning in for another one. God bless, and I'll see y'all later on today. with the second part. Oh, and also I'm gonna upload videos and they may not be on the day of, but we will get all of our readings. I will not skip daily readings. I just may record like in the morning and then I have to go and do something and I may not upload it at the same time. But we will definitely get the reading for every single day. So thank y'all. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, help me grow the channel. And yeah, God bless. I'll see y'all on the next one.